up so we can get started. As I still letting people in. Love it. Okay, so session number 2. I had a lot of people reach out and say that they weren't able to make the live session, but they've been able to watch some of the recordings. Some of the people were waiting for like summer camps to be over, and now back to school fully being in session, which is awesome. But welcome to 30,000 Students in 30 Days. This is Century's industry-wide initiative to boost new students in the martial arts schools around the world. And we've got a big, hairy, audacious goal of helping you guys enroll 30,000 students in 30 days. That is what we are aiming for. And we're going to do that by trying to get as many students as possible with internal and external marketing systems that are low expense, right? Pretty much the majority of what Mr. Metzger went over last time was all very low expense for you guys. And we're going to continue on that trend to ultimately get the community to come to you. Got to have a code of conduct. Please come with an open mind. Ask questions, get in the chat, but the most important work is the work that we do in between our sessions when we are meeting. You got to take action. If you have not registered for school, what are you waiting for? This is one of the coolest platforms. This is what we are utilizing to communicate with you guys, give you the recordings. So please make sure to register. There is an approval process that will occur. So if you try to register right now, just give me a few minutes and I'll try to get you in. But you got to get on the platform. That's where all the goodies are. And want to give a shout out to our referral contest winner and to everybody that participated in our referral contest. We truly appreciate your help. We added about 150, 200 school owners to the platform with your help. So you guys are truly making a huge impact in our industry. So congrats to Mr. McLeod, which I believe he already used his Century credit, which was awesome. Yeah. He was on top of it, got it done. And he's actually entering the room right now. So I'm going to wait just a second so that he can see that we've got his picture up here and we've got a shout out. But congrats to Mr. McLeod on his $500 Century credit. If you guys haven't ordered your coins inside of the school platform, there is a form. That is where you can go to order your coins. And I know, Mr. Dillard, you wanted to talk a little bit about the Century discount, sir.
Yes, again, I just want to remind everybody to help everybody out because I am just so incredibly grateful. I mean, we have over 1,025 schools signed up for this event. We had over, I think we're at 580 in school now. So, I mean, the sentiment has been just overwhelming. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. So to help out, Century is going to give a 15% discount on all uniforms, just all uniforms, including custom, from August 27th through September 17th. You just have to put the promo code 30K students whenever you check out. That way we give you guys a little bit of discount. The other thing that I want to remind you guys, I was talking to Ms. Rodriguez. She made this incredible, Ms. Rodriguez, can I steal the screen real quick? She made this incredible, easy social post for all of you guys to show off that you're part of this initiative. Hopefully it'll help your marketing, but also what I'm really hoping is it'll help us amplify your message and your brand and kind of the power of this movement. So if you guys in the assets section or the classroom and assets section of school, you have this social post here. Okay, so I've kind of shown, I put this drop your logo here and to tag at Century Martial Arts, at Grow Pro Agency, at, I didn't finish that, Martial Arts Industry Association here. But if you guys could help us by adding this to your social media, helping get the message out there, it's not too late for other schools to get involved. But also the idea behind this is that we are more powerful as a group, as a community of martial arts schools working together, and you guys are part of an international worldwide movement. I'm in Budapest, Hungary right now for the VACO Kickboxing World Championships. We have schools that are involved. I've been with the coaches all day. There is a worldwide deal we have going on. And so help get the message out, be a part of this, and post that on your social media. Tag us so we can amplify that message, and we're going to help make this a record-breaking, big, hairy, audacious goal. That's what you call it, Chris?
Yes, BHAG.
BHAG. Go. That's all I had.
Awesome. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you prioritizing this halfway across the world and being here with us today. You've got the promo code in the chat, guys. If you have any questions, just let us know. We will get to them. But we need to get to the meat and potatoes of today's training. So if you were here last week with us, Mr. Metzger went over the open house strategy. And if you haven't watched the replay, go into the school community, go to assets and go to recordings, and it'll get uploaded. Today's recording will be in there by the end of the day. We move very quickly for you guys because we know there's a lot of information and you might want to rewatch it, but you had some action steps. We went over how to prepare for your open house, the ticket tornado, and how to utilize that, unpacked the volunteer list and getting other businesses involved and securing all of your supplies. So everything is in there about hosting this event. And you also had some action steps on top of the referral rewards, which I know Mr. Metzger is going to touch on a little bit more. So far, guys, you should have booked your open house, picked the date for this. You should have launched your referral program. All of the assets are inside, and announced the ticket tornado. So I'd love to know in the chat, for those of you that were on last week, yes or no, did you get your action steps or some of your action steps done? Let me know. Empowers Martial Arts, yes. De La Scott, oh, look at all these yeses coming in. Got a couple no's. Appreciate the honesty. All right. But I love seeing all of these action takers. Very, very good. Great job, guys. Mr. Metzger, before I dive into my part, anything you want to touch on before we talk about some digital marketing?
No, I'll hit it at the end. I mean, I know the open house is the hardest part because you sometimes will overanalyze and make it a big mountain. Just pick a date and pull a trigger and follow some of the general principles to get people to your open house by making it a fun community event. You can't lose. It's a retention and a recruitment event for you. So I know it's tough because it feels like it takes a lot of planning, but you just got to pull triggers. But we'll talk a little bit at the end about some of the other things we got to do to keep you guys, keep the momentum going for your 30 students.
Awesome. All right, guys, let's dive into some of the kind of digital marketing strategies that you can be doing. Just real quick, can you let me know in the chat, how many years has your school been open? Let's see what we've got. 22. Wow. 16, 30, 2 years, 8 months. We got some newbies in here. I love it. 25 years, 33, 37. Wow. Amazing. Look at that. The reason why I ask is I think any of you that have had your school for more than 10 years would agree that the marketing strategies of today are different than what we had 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I started at a Junior Institute of Taekwondo in 1993, March 15th, 1993. And back then when they advertised, they had the yellow pages and they did flyering of cars and had lead cards in the dentist's office and the doctor's office, right? And if you look at all the different marketing strategies that we have today due to technology and computers and the internet and smartphones, it can be a little overwhelming. And yes, marketing is absolutely even different than 2019. COVID changed a lot. And as we continue, to evolve, there's going to be more options, and sometimes it's going to get more expensive because more people are on these platforms, right? There's more people on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok today than there were 5, 10, 15 years ago, and there's more businesses on there as well. Yes, Ms. Campos, it can be very overwhelming. So what I want to remind you is that revenue is a consequence. It's really not a goal. Right? To hit your revenue targets, to hit your recruiting target, if you're saying, I'm going to sign up 30 students in 30 days in September, that is a consequence of our actions or lack thereof. So for those of you that took action on last week's great job, we're going to have a new set of action steps for you. And in our business, we always have this really big decision we're going to have to make. And that's, are we going to spend our time, our energy, our effort which is like our sweat equity, or are we going to spend our money? And oftentimes when you're first getting started, you don't have a lot of money. So you have to, use your time, energy, and effort. I know when I first opened my school, Gracie Pack, back in 2012, I was the one that was painting the walls. And then we moved into our third location. And at that point, we were much more profitable. I was no longer the one painting the walls because I was paying somebody else. So we constantly have to make this decision in our business. Are we going to use our time, our energy, and our effort, or are we going to spend our money? So I'm going to give you some online marketing strategies that require some sweat equity. And then I'm going to give you some options for those of you that do have some additional funds in order to kind of just speed up the process, right? When we are doing Facebook ads or Google ads or every door direct mailers, it costs money, but it can speed up those results. So let's start with some sweat equity advertising, okay? The first thing that every single one of you needs to do is a database reactivation campaign. This is known as a DBR in the marketing world. A database reactivation campaign is just you sending out an email series and a text message series to your prospects who have opted in onto your contact list. So for those of you that are using CRMs, customer relationship management platforms, things like Spark or Kicksite, or My Studio, inside of there, you should have all of your customers. I know there are some schools that aren't using CRMs. Hopefully, you've been keeping a database of all of the contact information of your students and your prospects. Oftentimes, people will opt into our website or will get their lead information at a fall festival and they're not ready to convert. And the power of database reactivation is simply reaching out to them to reactivate their interest in training in the martial arts. Now, I know none of you opened your martial arts school because you wanted to be a writer and you wanted to sit down and write emails, but it is absolutely one of the most important marketing strategies that you do. So I want to give you two different options with your database reactivation. Option number one is just the easiest thing to do, and it's just a one-off email and a one-off text message, and it works really, really well. In the marketing world, it's called the magic email. It was made famous by an internet marketer named Dean Jackson, and basically you send an email and text message to your contacts list of your prospects, right? Not your students, but your prospects. And you're simply going to say, are you still interested in training in the martial arts? Super simple. There's no graphics. It's very, very basic. The subject line, just put the person's name, which you can pull in with custom values through your CRM. But that's it, guys. It's the magic email. Are you still interested in training in the martial arts? And what this is ultimately going to do is generate more conversations. And conversations will lead to connection, which can ultimately lead to conversion. So if your school's been open for a while and you've been gathering lead data, I know at Gracie Pack, we have about 15,000 leads in our database. And this magic email is something we send out twice a year to try and reactivate them. So this alone will start generating a lot of conversations for you. Now, if you're using a CRM, there will be a slight, more than likely, charge for your text messages. It's a very, very nominal amount that CRMs are going to charge when you do send text, but this is practically free. The email is definitely free. So this is the magic email. Curious, in the chat, have any of you ever sent the magic email or text that says, are you still interested in training in the martial arts? All right. So we got a kind of a split crew here. We got a lot of yeses and we got a lot of nos. So this would maybe take 5 to 10 minutes to set up, and it can be very, very powerful. You might even get, depending on the size of your list, get a little overwhelmed with the response. If you got 30,000 contacts, you might not want to send it all to them. And yes, the subject line is just the first name. Okay, so guys, super simple. This is going to generate conversations, and that conversation could lead to inviting them to the open house, or if you want them to take advantage of whatever your back to school offer is, you can do that. Okay, Mr. Michael's actually speaking with one currently. Awesome. No CRM. So could this be done from a cell phone? It could be done from a cell phone. It's just not very efficient. Highly recommend, guys, that you utilize a CRM inside of your school. So that's option number one, okay? Option number two would be to send out like a 3-part campaign. Because if I asked you, did you delete more emails today than you read? The answer is probably yes. People just naturally have a tendency to delete emails. And if you just send one-offs, then more than likely it's not going to get read. So putting together a campaign where there are multiple emails and text messages that go on is a great way to strum up, again, more conversations. Now, Chris, I got to write emails. Well, you know what? There are certain skills that, yes, you have to develop as an entrepreneur and a small business owner, and communication is one of them. But fortunately, there is super cool technology out, such as ChatGPT, that will write it for you. So we're going to send a 3-part email campaign, introduce the offer in the first email, put a little urgency with some testimonials in the second email, and then third email is put that the cart is closing. So 3 different emails here. And guess what I did for you? I gave you the ChatGPT prompt that you can use. So I will drop it in the chat. I'll also put this, guys, in the assets for you. If you have never used ChatGPT, it is incredibly powerful. I actually just used it this morning and was able to take a process that usually takes about 4 hours in my company and basically be able to now do that process in an hour. 4 hours down to 1 due to ChatGPT. So if I take that prompt and I put it in ChatGPT, I own a martial arts school called, and we'll just put Gracie Pack. I need you to write a database reactivation campaign with 3 emails that I can send to my prospects that has my back to school offer, which is 2 weeks for $29. First email should introduce the offer. Second email should build urgency and have a Google review inside. Third email should let them know that the offer is about to expire. Please write the emails as a world-class direct response copywriter and keep them under 300 words. So this is going to take the prompt. It's going to analyze it and check this out. The email is being written for me. Now, for those of you that use ChatGPT, you know how amazing and powerful this is. If you've never seen ChatGPT, probably going to get your mind blown right now. It'll give you the subject line. It'll give you everything that should be inside of the email. There's email number 2. Notice I told it to put a testimonial in there. So we've got the testimonial in there, and then email number 3. Now, the big mistake that people make with ChatGPT is that they don't edit it. I'm sure you've been online and you've seen posts and you're like, that person doesn't talk that way. And it's because they're just copying and pasting it directly from ChatGPT. So you're going to want to put it in your own voice, okay? ChatGPT is free. It does have a $20 a month premium access, but the free access will be just enough for you guys. So you can go to openai.com, sign up for ChatGPT completely free. So this, you can sit there and you can write the emails yourself, but we wanted to be able to make this as efficient as possible for you. Okay. So get these emails out, guys. They don't take that much time. If you have a list, even if you have a list of 50 or 100, that communication is going to strum up connection, which is going to strum up potentially conversions. Okay. I find the tech stuff overwhelming, feel like I need a degree in ChatGPT and AI. I do worry that it does take away the realistic side of what we do. You don't have to use it, sir. If you want to just sit down and write an email, absolutely write an email, but we want to be able to provide kind of the easiest and fastest way to send this out. How much time in between the 3 emails? I usually like 2 to 3 days. I wouldn't space it out too far. Okay, great question. So that's number 1. You need to get your database reactivation campaigns out. You can do the magic email, which is just that one-off, quick, easy. Or if you want to put together an email campaign, you absolutely can do that as well. Okay. Next up, we've got social media. All right. Whether you love it, whether you hate it, it's here. It's here to stay. And it is a direct line to free marketing and advertising for your school. So in regards to posting on social media, and I know certain people feel certain ways about, you know, not friend requesting students and things like that. I am a fan of being friends with the parents and the adults on social media. You know, we have policies within the school that, you know, our instructors and staff aren't allowed to, you know, be friends with people under the age of 18. So you definitely want to have some social media policies in place if you are going to be leveraging it or having your staff leverage it. But when you post on your business page on Facebook, so let's say you're posting about your open house, okay? When you post on your business profile, only about 10% of your followers will see that post. So that's not a lot, guys. If you got 1,000 followers, only a very, very small amount are going to see it. And the reason why this is, and this has changed over the years, you used to be able to put out posts on your Facebook business page, get tons of engagement, tons of comments, tons of shares. And basically Zuckerberg says, hey, if you want to get this out in front of more people, guess what you got to give me? You just got to give me more money. Okay. So I am a fan of utilizing our personal social media profiles to post about things like our open house or our back to school offer. And what we are seeing across the board in terms of what is working really, really well right now are reels. Okay. Reels are videos. They are shot vertically on your phone. You know, you can have it as just simple and basic of just you talking into the camera. It could be, you know, edited. There are some pretty user-friendly apps out there. And I know we have a wide range of skill sets on here, right? We have like Mr. Metzger, who doesn't even own a computer. And we have people that absolutely know how to use a technology. So for some of you, this might not be, oh, Chris is telling me I got to film a video. Like, that's not my jam. I understand that, but make sure you're getting the other sweat equity advertising out there. And what I will tell you is that videos and reels are going to outperform any other posts that you put out right now. And in those videos, I would do a video for your open house. I would do a video for your back to school special, so your offer, and it doesn't cost you anything but your time. Literally, authentic videos that aren't highly professionally edited often outperform those fancy videos. So just talking, call it a talking head video, talking into your camera is enough, right? And I understand this is a skill set that I think all schools should have somebody on their team develop. Maybe it's not you as the owner, maybe it's an instructor, but you got to get the word out. And in order to get the word out, the best way right now on social media is to use reels. They don't need to be long, guys. 30, 60, 90 seconds max. Most people have the attention span of a goldfish. So keep it short and don't be afraid to have a call to action on the end. Okay. So we got to get our offer and our open house out on social media. Guys, if you don't want to do the videos, at least post the graphics that we provided. But I do think if you want to take it up a notch, you want to get more engagement, you want to get your, current families that follow you to share it, put the video out. Okay. This is a challenge I have for you. Okay. So next up, on top of social media, I want you to create a Facebook event. Okay. This is completely free. Facebook has tried to make this as user-friendly as possible. So you're going to go to your business page, you're going to go to the event section, and you are going to create an event. And it's very much fill in the blank. It's going to ask you, what is the name of your event? What is the date? What is the time? One of the biggest mistakes that I see schools make is that they don't have a registration link inside of the event to collect the lead information. If somebody's scrolling on Facebook and they see your Facebook event for your open house and they just click that they're interested or that they're going, you have no way to confirm that. So you want to make sure that you have a way for them to register. You can easily create that inside of your CRM. You could use other platforms like Eventbrite, which are freemium tools, but you need a way to collect the lead contact information. Just creating the Facebook event on Facebook isn't going to be enough. Now, once you create it on your business page, share from your personal page that post as well, so that all of the people that follow you on your personal page will see it. Registration link in CRM or Facebook form. So the Facebook lead form is going to be a paid advertising way. So I would do this is just free that we're talking about. We'll talk about paid ads in a second. But I would just do a registration link if you're just looking for free. Okay. So guys, just make sure that you have some way to collect lead information inside of your Facebook event. Okay. Now, Facebook is always going to have this big blue button that says boost. All right. And if you did want to use some marketing dollars to boost it, you absolutely can. What I find is if you're not really even willing to spend $100 on this campaign, it's probably not going to produce any results for you. Like to see around $25 to $30 a day to really be able to see results on these platforms. So if you had $100, you could do $25 a day for 4 days. You don't have to do that though, right? I know we have people that are, in certain situations where they don't have a marketing budget for this, but we also have people that do. The biggest thing when you boost it is you got to check the targeting. How many of you, let me know in the comments, yes or no, have you ever seen a martial arts school's Facebook ad and they're not even in your state? How many? I mean, man, if I had $1 for every single time I see that. So you got to make sure that the targeting is set up properly. And everybody's targeting is going to be based off of the demographics. For some of you, 5 miles might work. For others, 15 miles might work. For some of you, it would be better for you to use zip code targeting instead of radius targeting. So please just make sure you have the targeting checked on that. But I want everybody making a Facebook event. This is completely free. Okay. Next up, leveraging community Facebook groups. Okay. If you go to Facebook and you just search for Tampa Moms Group or Orlando Moms Group, you will find a bunch of community Facebook groups that are for your town or certain subdivisions in your city. And these are great places for you to not go in and sell, but to really just be a giver, right? When people are asking questions or looking for recommendations, providing your insights. And then sure enough, there's going to be a post in there that asks, I'm interested in putting my child in an extracurricular activity, or my son said he's interested in martial arts. And that would be your opportunity to go ahead and comment about your school. This is an ongoing strategy that you should be doing on a weekly basis, just checking these Facebook groups. But if you want to actually post about your school, I would reach out and ask the admin. A lot of groups have very specific rules and policies about pitching in the group. And if you just go in there and spam their group with their offer, you're probably going to get kicked out. So don't do that. Okay. All right. So next up, optimizing your Google business profile. And for some of you, all right, Chris, I'm already doing emails. I'm already posting. I'm already in Facebook groups. What else do you got? Right. So I'm giving a handful of options for you. For some of you that aren't doing those, I don't want you to try to implement all of these. It's not necessary. Okay. As we lean into September, all the pumpkin spiced lattes are at Dunkin' Donuts and are at Starbucks, which officially means it's fall, right? You wouldn't be able to tell in Florida because it's still really hot. But it's very important that on a consistent basis, you keep your Google business profile up to date. This is what people see when they search for your martial arts school in your town. Or if they're searching for martial arts in your town, this is what will show up, okay? Google, when you look up your school, if you are logged in into the Gmail address that is connected with your school, it will let you know what your profile strength is. And mine looks good because we optimize it. This is something we stay on top of. But if you are not showing up on Google when we're at the back to school season and parents are, going to Google asking for extracurricular activities for their kids, man, you're really missing the boat, and it's completely free. It doesn't cost you any money to optimize your Google business profile, and Google makes it really easy. click the button, edit profile, and all it is fill in the blank with the information inside, okay? What most school owners do with their Google Business Profile, it used to be known as Google My Business, now it's called Google Business Profile, is they fill it out the first time when they first open their school and they never go back to it. So please make sure as we're heading into the fall and we're heading into the back to school season that your profile strength is 100%. You have keywords that people would search on Google to find you in the description, that you are responding to reviews. The number one signal that is the most important to Google are reviews. The more reviews you have, the higher you're going to rank. Make sure your hours are updated, especially with all the holidays going on. And you got to just make sure, guys, that you are optimizing your Google Business Profile. So if people are searching for martial arts in your area, they are finding you, okay? So last up, and Mr. Metzger talked a little bit about this last time with the 4 steps of selling, but this is so important, guys. It's appointment setting, okay? If you have a contact list, like the list that we talked about earlier to do database reactivation, if you have name, email, and phone number, you can email them, you can text them, but you got to pick up the phone and call. We can learn a lot by other industries, and most other industries have sales teams, and they have sales quotas that they have to meet. And they have people that literally hit the phone and do 100, 200, 300 dials a day. And that's not what I'm suggesting you do in your school, but I am suggesting that you time block each week a specific time for you to reach out to the prospects on your list. And you can go through the 4 steps of selling. Mr. Metzger went through this last week, and you can either invite them to the open house, or you can invite them into checking out your back to school offer. But this is such an overlooked strategy. It's a numbers game. If you do 100 calls, you'll probably get 10 people to pick up, and maybe you'll get 3 or 4 appointments out of that. But that's 3 or 4 appointments that you did not have before. Mr. Walker asks, if you have different locations, should you have a Google profile for each? Yes, sir, you should. Okay. How do you set up appointments during classes when you are a one-man show? I don't always have a high-ranking student to run a class and don't have staff yet. So the appointments can be before the classes, after the classes. You could put them into group classes, which isn't always ideal, but the recommendation would be to invite them to a Saturday community event. If you didn't watch the first session that we did, we talked a lot about hosting community events, which is really what the open house is. Mr. Metzger, anything you want to add on that in terms of like one-man show, and trying to book appointments and they're the only one, maybe leveraging community events?
Yeah, if you're the only one running your in your school, it comes down to the details of your class schedule, and you need to have some gaps in the schedule where you use those time slots to book appointments. The other thing that I would say is don't think of just one-on-one appointments. If you have time blocks, or even Saturday, you should book 10 appointments during that time slot and do what we call a mass enrollment. If you are a school under 100 students, your main focus should be to let's get to 100 students as quickly as possible. That's going to allow you to be able to pay a part-time person to run that office while you teach your classes. A lot of people hire an assistant instructor first, hire someone to work that office, to follow up with leads, set appointments, train them how to enroll people, customer service. But if you're a one-man or one-woman show, we want to get you to 100 students as quickly as possible, and that would be my recommendation.
All right, guys. So we talked about the big decision of using your time and energy and effort or using your money, okay? I'm going to very quickly go over some options for you if you do have a budget. But I know this isn't relevant to everybody, so we're not going to dive too into this. If we can get everybody to mute, please. Awesome. But school sponsorships, either sponsoring the PTA, sponsoring their events, it can cost you anywhere between $100 to $2,000. Here's an example of an elementary school that actually puts together their annual sponsorships and their event sponsorships. This is a great way to develop partnerships in education, which is a very, very strong marketing strategy that you can implement. So if you do have additional budget and income to be able to put towards your marketing strategy, sponsorships with the schools are a really great way. Of course, we have Facebook ads. And what I will tell you guys is, unless you absolutely love digital marketing and doing this yourself, I do believe it is something you should outsource. And I don't say that because I own a digital marketing agency. I just say that as a business owner that has specific skills. If I don't have a specific skill, I'm going to outsource it. It's why I don't do my bookkeeping. It's why I don't do, my own taxes. I have an accountant for that. But paid advertising on Facebook, regardless of what anybody says, does work if you know how to set it up properly. The key to Facebook ads is that there's got to be follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. And if you aren't at least putting about a $500 ad spend towards your campaign, then not really going to produce the results you want to see. We also have pay-per-click, which are your Google ads. And this is, when people have an intent and they want to find a martial arts school, this is where they go. They go to Google, they type in martial arts in my area. We want to be able to show up. Google ads is a great way to be able to show up at the top. And then we have every door direct mailers. I think there are kind of a couple groups of people that have never tried this, people that have tried it and it failed, and then people who have tried it and absolutely live by it. This is something you can set up at the United States Postal Service website, USPS.com. It allows you to choose routes and demographics. Probably going to cost you about $1,000 to $2,000. It is not cheap. And my recommendation, if you are going to go this route, make sure you use a QR code for your ROI tracking. Okay. So like I said, guys, if you want to jam out more on the paid ads and, marketing strategies that require money, please put your, questions inside a school. I'd be happy to answer it, but not everybody is in the position to be able to spend money. So we really wanted to focus on strategies that don't cost. Okay. So let's get our database reactivation set up, get your offer online on Facebook, get in the Facebook community groups, optimize your Google profile, and man, start hitting the phones and start booking appointments. Okay. Mr. Metzger, 30 students in 30 days. You're on, sir.
Okay, there's a quick question here. Where and when is best to advertise adult classes? Where and when is it best to advertise adult classes? Well, when is all the time. I mean, you should be marketing all the time. Where? Well, depending on what type of marketing you're doing. I mean, if you're on social media, Chris, it'd be all over your community, right? But maybe there's parent groups and this, that, and the other. My advice to you, real quick answer, don't be marketing martial arts classes. Market a self-defense program or a team building for corporate companies or teachers, faculty, staff members. Offer a free self-defense or team building event, and you'll get more people to show up, and then sell them once they're in your building on the mat and they experience the test drive, so to speak. That's what I would recommend if you want to try to get people in faster. And that would be through, again, as I mentioned earlier, a mass enrollment. But you should always be marketing your product or service constantly, all the time. We don't stop, right? All right. So with that being said, let's dive in. So here's the deal. This is really simple. And again, I mentioned this when we first did the first call, that I like simple, right? And I know you guys may think, man, this open house isn't simple, but it really is, because you don't have to do every single thing. Just have the open house. Just get people to your building, right? But this is very simple now. So here's what you got to do internally. And I know some of you probably, you don't have a lot of students maybe, but to get our 30 students, let me just tell you a true story real quick. One of our locations, this is going back maybe 12 years ago. Okay, 12 years ago. We had a school, and I'm going to be transparent with you. We had a school that over a period of like 6 months over a period of 6 months, enrolled like 12 students. So I want to say that again for those of you who might be getting down on yourself. We had a school that over 6 months enrolled a total of 12 students. It was then that 30 students in 30 days was born, because we called the staff in, myself and Mr. Silverman, and we said, we want to do, I'm sorry, it was 31 students in 31 days. It was 31 and 31, because I remember it was October we did this. So it was October. We said, we want to challenge you to try to get 31 students in 31 days. And Silverman and I played good cop, bad cop. I sat in the meeting and I said, well, I don't think you guys can do it. And they kind of looked at me and I said, I don't think you can do it, because if you can do it, why haven't you been doing it? You guys enrolled like 12 students in the last 6 months total. You're averaging like 2 students a month. I mean, you guys just, why do I think you can enroll 31 students in 31 days? And Silverman said, Metzger and I have a bet, and I bet him that you can do it. And here's what we're going to do. Well, what they did is what I'm going to share with you now. They ended up enrolling 36 students, by the way, in 31 days, I think was the number, 36 new students in 31 days. And this is how simple it is. Number one, rally your parents and students around this goal that we have. Now, back then, this was just a single school goal. For you guys, what I want you to do when you get your coins, I want you to bring those coins out in every class. I want you to show every parent. I want you to tell the parents and your students, and by the way, your friends, your family members, your neighbors, I don't care who it is, your coworkers. We have a goal. We are part of a worldwide martial arts campaign. There's over 1,000 martial arts schools in this initiative. And it is to enroll 30,000 students in martial arts in 30 days. But we can't do it without your help. And you ask the question, you don't dictate to the parents. You ask them, can I rely on you guys, or your friends or your neighbors or whoever? Can I rely on you guys to help us out with this goal? Because we really want to try to do it. And our portion is to get 30 students in 30 days. With the 1,000 schools we have, if we all get 30 students, we'll get 30,000 students in 30 days. So number one, you want to rally all the parents and your students around the goal. Next, when you do this and you make these announcements, you ask them, you can ask them, has martial arts training made a positive impact on your life? And if you feel that it has on your life or your child's life, we want to share that with our communities, because we believe that martial arts helps make a positive impact. So we're asking you guys for the help. So then the next one is, and I mentioned this, I think last time, but the next bullet point here is distribute 3 passes to each student to give to whoever it is they feel would benefit from your program. You say, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to start. I'm going to give everybody 3 VIP passes. And you have the students come up to you and you hand it to them. You do not stack them on the back counter and tell them to grab 3. Say, I'm going to give each of you 3 passes. Make sure you put your name on it, because if you guys remember, we talked about the referral rewards, and you're going to reward them for any referrals that you get. This is on top of your ticket system. And if you don't know what I'm talking about as far as the ticket tornado and the ticket system, go back and watch last week's call. Regardless of the tickets they get, they also get to do a referral reward. Now, when I talked about referral reward, here's a golden nugget. I didn't want to confuse you guys. Maybe I mentioned this. I don't think I did. But I told you very simply, somebody refers a member to your school and they end up enrolling, you can give them a $50 Visa gift card to the restaurant or retailer of their choice, or a $75 credit to the Pro Shop or to the Century catalog. I also told you that between now and the end of September, we are doubling our referral reward. The key thing to this is when someone refers a student and that student, that person enrolls, You go to the student who referred them and ask them, what would you like? We'll have it for you in a week. And then in class, in front of everybody in the class, is when you make a big deal and present them their gift card. Because the key to this is letting everyone else in your school know about it. Now, here's the golden nugget, everybody. Here's the golden nugget. I'm very cautious. I said this earlier too, a week or 2 weeks ago, that I don't want to spend your money. But the best referral program is to have a referral prize wheel. You can go on Amazon, you can Google it, prize wheels, and you want to get a prize wheel where you can have dry erase spaces on the prize wheel. And on that prize wheel, you can have like a $25 space, a $50, a couple 50s, a couple 25s, maybe two $100 spaces on the prize wheel. And all you got to do is you could put it on a table or you can mount it on your wall. You can have a sign near that wheel that says referral prize wheel, spin and win. Referral prize wheel, spin and win. Now, why is this the best for referrals? It's the best because every single time your students come to class, they see that wheel. So they know there's a referral program. They also know you can't spin that wheel unless you refer a new member, right? Now, when you have those spaces, and if you, on your prize wheel, $100, $50, $25, if you tell everybody that if you refer a new member between now and the end of September, you get to spin that wheel, but everything is doubled on that wheel. So whatever you land on is doubled. The next thing that I will tell you is to keep cash. You're not writing a check. You're not going to say, I'll get it for you later. You're going to have cash on hand. And at the end of a class, you're going to say, guys, before we dismiss, Sarah here referred a new member to our school. And as a way of saying thank you and helping us with our big initiative, she gets to spin the prize wheel. So let's chant for a 100, 100. Let's get 100, Sarah. Let's do it. They spin the wheel, whatever it lands on, you give her cash and you count it out. I would encourage you to do like smaller bills. So it's like 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, or 20, 45, you know, 2 20s or in a 10 for $50, or 20 and a 5 for 25, or whatever it is. So that's the prize wheel to bring more excitement to this initiative. Okay. Next. Offer all your spectators. Spectators are all your family and families that don't train, a special enrollment deal. This is like a mass enrollment special. Any of you that are sitting here watching class, ladies and gentlemen, parents, if you ever thought about it, siblings, if you have other kids, if you have any other family members, if you enroll now, between now and the end of September, it's just $49 for your first month. That includes your down payment and your uniform and your first month, $49. And this is only good for all of you that are friends or family members of our students. It's just, again, a way to get people that were on the fence thinking about it to do it. Now, for those of you on here that might charge $49 a month, the point here is just give a special offer that you typically don't give. Do something to get more enrollments on your floor. Okay. Next, when talking about it, emphasize the importance of student and family involvement in reaching the goal. Not just our goal, but the saying of families that kick together, stick together, right? The thing is we say, look, we know parents, this is kids and parents, we always try to talk, how was school today? How was this? How was that? One thing we love about martial arts is we bring parents and students together with a common goal, something they have in common together. And we really love it when families train. So if you ever thought about training, this is the special we have for you. So my point is you got to sell it. The 4 steps of selling, as we have mentioned, that is number 1, what's the reason I'm making an announcement? What's the reason? I want to tell you about this initiative and this special. Number 2 is sell it. You got to paint a picture. You got to sell them why this is important, right? Number 3 is a call to action. And number 4, close the sale, close the deal, right? Closing happens in the office. But for those of you that are one man or one woman shows, just get them on your mat, then set the appointment for them to come in and do the enrollment, unless they can do it right on their phone. Some of you guys have CRMs where they can roll on the phone. Okay. Next, and I'll hit the questions in a minute. If you have staff or volunteers, you got to engage them in the excitement of the campaign and also organizing the events, meaning open house. You got to get them very excited. They got to be on this and talking about it every day, every single class. And you want to highlight, the next bullet point is to highlight the importance of the teamwork and the commitment that we need to have for achieving this goal. And that is exactly what we did at our one location, where they enrolled 36 students in 31 days, when this school was averaging 2, by the way, right? When you enroll 2 students a month on average, something's broken, but you could start doubting yourself. You could start thinking like, I don't know what it is. It's the market, it's the this. You got to get refocused. You got to commit, and you got to get to work. They went from that to 36 students in 31 days. Okay. Next. Now, this is the double referral rewards, right? As a matter of fact, Chris, do me a favor. I just want to look at something here. I think go back 2 slides, because I want to point out these passes. One more. There you go. So these passes are part of your deliverables that you're going to have. You see these free week passes? We have these free week passes, and I also believe we have a free trial class pass as well. These are an example of the passes that you could be handing out to your students when you distribute the 3 passes. Okay, we make them just like that. We make them postcard size, 4 on a page, and we typically like to do a card stock. We like to do in color. If you don't want to do it in color and save money, do it in black and white, but put it on a colored card stock. I don't like the flimsy light paper, by the way. Okay, next. And then let's go to the next and go back to the double referral rewards. Okay, next bullet point. So I talked about, nope, go back one. I talked about this double referral rewards during the campaign. So listen, if you're doing the Visa gift card, obviously it's a $100 Visa gift card to a restaurant or retailer, $150 to the catalog, right? The Century catalog or your merchandise or whatever it is you want. But if you can get the prize wheel, that is so much more exciting for all the students, and they see it every single time they come in. The next thing that we do, next bullet point, is we display a countdown poster in the school to track, and we celebrate each new sign up. We will give everybody, guys, let's give a big round of applause. We got another enrollment. We'll put this really, really big, and we'll cross it off as we get closer and closer to our 30 student mark. And you use this poster, basically simple, to generate and publicly track the progress. And if we're falling behind, what we did with our school and our students is we told them, guys, we got to pick it up. If there's anyone you know, let me give you a couple more passes, friends at school, anyone you can do. Now, here's the next thing I'm going to tell you about something you guys have that we did not have, okay? Tell all of your students, when you show them the coins, right? Anyone that enrolls gets one of those commemorative coins as part of this worldwide initiative. But the student who refers a member will also earn one of these coins. So with the students, when you're going over this, say, you guys will be able to earn one of these commemorative coins that doesn't exist anywhere else. It's specifically for this worldwide initiative that was provided by the world's largest martial arts supplier in the world. They're pushing this initiative, and they made the coins. And here, pass this coin around. If you guys want one of these coins to keep, to have, we need your help. We want to do our part in this initiative. We didn't have these coins back then, right? So you guys have a little extra call to action, which is, again, step 3 on the 4 steps of selling, call to action, where if you enroll now, or if you refer someone, you're going to get one of the coins as part of this initiative. And the coins are the Century coins. If you haven't seen the last week, watch last week's call, but Century has coins they'll be sending out, I think 5 to every single school for free there to just have you show. And they're coming out in September, I believe. Okay, next. The next is get your community involved. right? Focus on a community impact by making donations. Chris talked a little bit about this with the schools, collaborating with local organizations. This ties into your open house. So you're going to all the local businesses, try to get them involved where they're handing out your invites to the open house, right? And you're going to allow them to have a free booth at your open house. But get them excited. Tell them that we're part of this. Tell them for helping us. Give them a coin, right? It doesn't help. Also do this. Listen up. When you go to local businesses, ask them, say, hey, I don't care if it's Subway. I don't care where it is. How many employees work here? Ask them. Say, you know what? You have these free week passes. Cross it out and put 2 weeks. Say, give one of these to every single one of your employees. If they've ever thought about martial arts, they can use one of these passes for 2 free weeks at our location. And you let me know if you need more, if you have any other questions. Give them passes to give to all their employees as well. Next is update your website and your social media with the current offer. Increase your ad spend. I think Chris talked a lot about that. And then the next one is distribute ad cards and seek collaboration with the local businesses, meaning businesses that may not be able to participate in your open house. If you want to go to ad cards, so listen up. Here's the deal. This is how we were different. I don't want my cards to sit on a counter at a local business. I want a local business to hand my cards out. So 15, 20 years ago, I was sandwiched in between a Great Clips and a Pizza Hut, like in a plaza. Well, I said, man, the flyers sit on the Pizza Hut counter, like they just sit there, right? And they get messed up. They get thrown out, right? There we go. So what I did was I went to the Great Clips and I said, hey, do you guys, you have a lot of repeat customers that you work with? And of course they do. They cut hair. There's a lot of people that keep coming, say, hey, we have a special going on. And what I did there was, instead of a free week, I gave them a pass that said for $25, they can get, at the time, a month of classes, an official martial arts uniform, and a free private lesson for $25. I said, when you're talking to any of your clients that have kids, if you give them one of these, put your name on the back of all these cards. Give them to each of your clients when you're cutting their hair, talking to them. If you get talking about martial arts next door, because we're next door or in the same plaza, and you give them one of those and they come in, I'm going to let you keep the $25. I'm going to come back and give you the $25 they paid for that special. Why? Well, there was a time I had hair, and so I always got my hair cut, right? And these people, a lot of them rely on tips. They like tips. So if I can cut someone's hair and I'm going to get a tip for cutting their hair, but then they're going to enroll next door and I can make another $25 for the same person I'm working with, I'm going to do that. So we would do that with nail salons. We would do that with hair salons. But my point is you got to get aggressive and think out of the box. You don't want to just be another flyer sitting on a counter that really doesn't do much. You got to get buy-in from your community. Engagement. You got to get engagement. Next slide. And this is the last slide. I'm not going to go through all of this, but there's something, especially if you're a one-man or one-woman show, if you get a lot of leads coming in, and let's say your open house ended and you had a lot of leads, but they didn't enroll. Don't follow up with all your leads saying, well, did you change your mind? I'm making this up. You wouldn't say it like this, but did you change your mind? Would you like to come in and enroll now? I know you came to our open house. You heard the special. Would you like to enroll? Would you like to take advantage? Come up with an event, just like I said about the adults, a team building, a self-defense, a fitness seminar for kids, a goal-setting seminar, a focus seminar, a summer safety seminar. Just like I said, you could do it at your open house with police or the fire station. But all of your leads, especially if you're by yourself, I'd wait a week, like if your open house is Saturday, you didn't have enrollments, next week, of course, try to get them in, follow up with your leads, see if they'd like to come and experience a regular martial arts class. Say the open house was crazy. Try to get them in on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday for a class, but say, hey, by the way, it's not an open house. We happen to be doing a free community event this Saturday on goal setting for all the kids in the community, on how to set goals, or on focus or on bullying or on whatever you want, and then try to get them in again. Because a seminar like this is going to be a lot less crazy than an open house. So this is just ways that throughout the year, you can always follow up with leads of people who did not enroll. When you try to follow up and get them back in your class, you can only do that so many times, right? Before you start feeling uncomfortable. Well, now plan different themed events that you can invite them to. And if you see on the front of that flyer in red, it says free community event. All right, Chris, let's bring us back.
Really quick, guys, those are your action steps. I dropped them in the chat for you. And I know we're a little bit over, so understand if you need to head off, but we do want to make sure that we're able to answer everybody's questions. So, Matt, you don't have anything else to do, right?
No, I have nothing going on. I'm just going to
okay.
Just drink my coffee.
Awesome.
Hey, let me say this. Listen, let me say this. You know, we just got done doing an owners summit, an owners retreat, which is for 20 school owners. That's all it's limited to, 20 school owners, because we do it in my conference room at one of my world headquarters. Chris and I did that. And we had 20 school owners. They attend this 2-day event. And what I said to them is the same thing I'm going to say to all of you. You have to have a big enough why behind why it is you're doing what you're doing, you know, because it's hard work. The why is, I'm tired of my car breaking down. I just got to do better. Or, man, I'd really want my kid to be able to go to the college they want to go to. Or I'd really like to surprise my spouse and travel more with my, whatever it is. But you got to stay focused on your why all the time. That's going to push you to do the things that you're not comfortable doing. That's a little overwhelming. Okay. So figure out that why. And then the last thing I told them is, some of you on here are doing very, very well. And I told them on Friday and Saturday, I'm not here to get you to do very, very well. It's not what I'm here for. I'm here to get you to do the best you possibly can do, because that is the true statement that good is the enemy of great. And when you're comfortable, when you're really comfortable, you don't want to grind and go out of your comfort zone, because life is good. But I'm here to tell you, whether you want to hear it or not, if you live on planet Earth, life is better when you have more money. It just is, because the world operates on currency. And if you want a nicer meal out, you need money. If you want to send your kids to better schools, have better cars, you need money. I mean, you know, if you want to surprise your spouse with whatever it is, money. If you get sick and you go to the hospital, money's better. I mean, it just is the way it is. It's the world. It's the reality. So I want to try to get you motivated to push through the overwhelmingness that happens in the beginning of this journey. And it's just in the beginning. There's always going to be ups and downs. But the hardest part is just getting started and getting it going. And then you can get to a point with a corporate structure and everything else to where it's not so hard. So just find your why and push through. And I'm looking forward to answering all your questions now. Chris, when's the next call, Chris?
So not next week, but the week after. So we're giving you guys some time. We gave you a lot of different options here. Now it's time to put it into action. We will be active inside of the school platform. So if you have questions, drop them in there. And make sure everybody's muted here. If you have questions, we will be in the school platform and answer them for you. But the following Tuesday will be September 10th is going to be our next session. So you've got the time to implement.
And by the way, that's going to be some of the most powerful calls, because we'll try to get to all the questions on the school, but there's over 1,000 of you. It's hard if everybody starts asking questions. We'll try, but please, in 2 weeks, be on these calls so we can be answering all of your questions. And for those of you that don't have questions, the questions that are going to be asked is going to help all of you as well. You're going to hear the same struggles. You're going to hear wins. You'll get motivated. But we will be answering everybody's questions in 2 weeks from now, okay?
Do you want to dive into some of these now, sir?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If you got to jump off, of course, but let's see what questions we have.
All right. Many of the gift ideas are great, but how do you do that with limited funds?
Listen, the gift ideas is anything of value to one of your students. Like I said, it's pie your instructor in the face. It's a free private lesson. It's a free pizza party for everyone that participates. It's anything that has value to your students. A free uniform. Mr. Diller just came on and said all of you can, between whatever those dates are, 15% off student uniforms. I mean, there's just a million different things. Use your imagination. At the end of the day, it's just about value, and sometimes that value is your time. Okay.
All right. Somebody had asked the steps of optimizing the Google business profile, so I'll drop that for them. Let's see, what else do we have? Any other suggestions to use your event registration other than Eventbrite? I mean, ideally, you should be doing this inside of your CRM, because the CRM is going to allow you to text them and email them and house all of their contact information. If you don't have a CRM, I would check out My Studio. There are lots of different industry CRMs, but Eventbrite is probably the most well-known freemium, which means it has some free features, and then you can also pay for more advanced features. Any other questions? How long is the open house?
How long is the open house? Guys, if you missed last week, it was all about the open house, but typically 10 to 2. We do it 10 to 2. Some of you may say, I can only do it 10 to 12. Then do it 10 to 12. But ours is 10 to 2, 4 hours, right? Does the 15% Century discount include belts? I believe, I don't know, but if it's a student uniform, I think the white belt's in there, I would think, but I'm not sure. I assume it is. How would you add upgrades to the open house? I don't know what that means exactly, Mr. Marvin, as far as upgrades, as far as programs, or upgrades to the open house. Upgrades to the open house would be your bounce houses, the cotton candy, the demonstrations, all of that stuff. I would not deal with upgrades necessarily at your open house, even though we do get upgrades at our open house with our existing students, but that's a whole different system. Okay. When's the best time of year to send EDDM, Chris?
Every door direct mailers, guys. That's going into summer, coming out of summer, going into the new year. Those are the 3 times you need to go pedal to the metal with your marketing.
And where can I locate the recording from the first Zoom meeting?
Inside of the school platform, go to classroom and then recordings. And this one came up a couple times. Size of your school, sir. Yes.
Yeah, make sure everybody knows you got to go into the school platform. I'm curious about how big physical size everyone's schools are. Mr. Metzger, you said you got 47 students at an open house. How big is your location? No, I said I got 49 students. And that was that school, that was our Lake Nona school. That school was 2,000 square feet. So that's how big that school was. And that's how you join the platform. How do you display the prizes like private lessons and pizza parties? Make a flyer, make a poster, laminate it, put it up on a table, keep it in front of everybody all the time. The prizes also on a table. As soon as people walk in every single day, they see those prizes. Okay.
Anything else, guys?
Well, congratulations again for those of you who stayed on, for those of you who came back. You know, it's just what it is. Every week, the attendance drops a little bit. And we knew that. We know that because it's overwhelming. And there's a reason why not everybody's successful, because not everybody's willing to do what others aren't willing to do, right? Everybody, you have to be willing to do things that others aren't. And it's hard. There's a reason why the masses are just doing okay. There's a reason. So keep going. That's, you know, stay on. You're going to get information. Whether you take action or not, you're going to get information that you can use, and information lasts forever.
All right, everybody. We appreciate your time, your energy, and we look forward to answering any questions that you have inside of the school platform. I'll get the recording up before the end of the day, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. It's action taker time. Hope everybody has a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.